right, what's going on here? The boxing source in the building, and I have a young prospect that is in the super middleweight division here. Of course, he is there as a 23-time national champion in the amateurs and is undefeated as a pro with 11 wins, with 10 of those by way of knockout. Okay, fighting out of Olathe, Kansas, it's Marco Romero. What's going on?
How you doing, man? Good, good. Thank you for having me.
Oh man, very thankful to catch up with you here. I know that you got something coming up here in the near future, but you had a very busy year in 2025 with 7 fights, all of those wins by way of knockout. Like, how
Mhm.
would you assess what you did in 2025?
Man, if I had to describe it in one word, I'd just say progress. It's progress. We got in there, got our job done, and we got it done quick. But it all helped me out, to gain that experience and just keep racking up those wins and just keeping that eye on the prize on that world title, man.
Yeah, get in the ring, get in the gym, get back in the ring, get back in the gym. That's
Yes,
pretty much
sir.
life right there. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And right now, you're scheduled for a fight in March. So how are you preparing for that particular bout?
I'm preparing I always prepare very, very intensely, for each and every fight. I make sure I'm always 100% ready. I always want to go in there, ready for anything. But actually have a fight March 20th, but I also have an upcoming fight in Orlando this upcoming month here in February, the 19th, I believe.
Hmm.
So we're going back to back. Yep.
Oh man, so see, that ain't that far from where you're training at in Tampa. Just
Yep.
going up I-4, you just stop there in Orlando,
Yeah.
and you got it there. You know what I mean? So that shows like how much you are really to get in the mix as far as like getting a world title shot. As we were talking about, here within the division, really soon. Now, you're there under the guidance of John Brown, who is a
Mm,
longtime trainer. But
yeah.
you're the only one that's been able to be with him as a pro outside of Tommy Morrison, of course,
Yeah.
legendary Tommy Morrison there. Now, what does he see in you that makes him want to be part of your pro career?
I just think he sees those characteristics that I have that Tommy didn't, I unlike Tommy, I've always been coachable. I work hard. I stay disciplined to my craft. So I think Coach John seen that in me, from the very beginning.
Mhm.
So once we, ended with a national Golden Gloves championship in the amateurs and we decided to go pro, he was like, you know what? I'm going in for the ride. So yeah, I appreciate him a lot for real.
Where I'm going to talk about that amateur success here in a moment, but you're hailing from Kansas. There,
Yeah.
there's not that many. Would say that they know a lot of fighters. From that area outside of a few. Now, what is your goal? Climbing up the rankings here at super middleweight within the next 2, 3, or 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, coming from Kansas, man, yeah, it's like you said, it's not. We don't have like a hotbed, a lot of boxers
Right.
here, but we got talent. We got a lot of talent here, and coming up in the ranks, that's my only focus. Just keep climbing the ranks, keep getting these fights, keep getting this experience that I'm getting in each and every fight, man. Because I've always said, mark my words, I'm gonna bring a championship back to Kansas City, and we maybe one day defend it here at the Arrowhead Stadium.
Word. I know that you were talking about defending their Arrowhead Stadium, and I think if I'm not mistaken, you may have to like work on that because they're planning on getting another stadium. So we
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
we gotta
So,
get to
hey, we're
work.
gonna have to take it to the new one.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to
yeah,
take it to the new
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. Now with that aspiration there of defending the world title there at Arrowhead Stadium, where they're home of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mhm.
What would be like another city that you would like to fight in that would be like, man, I'd love to get it on in this city.
Obviously, man, the Las Vegas, obviously, MGM Grand, T-Mobile, California. I've always wanted to fight there,
Mm.
and New York, MGM at the Madison Square Garden. Yeah, but New York, man, those would be the dream come true for sure.
Yeah, you got those iconic venues here when it comes to boxing with like Madison Square Garden. You got,
Yep.
MGM Grand Garden Arena, and then it became like T-Mobile Arena with the big events and that type of stuff there. So you
Yeah.
want to pretty much like have that instance where you could get to fight in a big fight headlining within like T-Mobile Arena or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, speaking of that, you have like your favorite fighters is well documented. One of them that's been, fighting at T-Mobile Arena is, as I say, Santos Saul Alvarez Barragan or Canelo Alvarez, right?
Yeah.
Of course, like you have other favorite fighters like Julio Cesar Chavez and
Yeah.
Marco Antonio Barrera. Tell us
Yeah.
why these three fighters stand out to you.
No, well, being Mexican, I think you carry a lot of pressure, especially climbing into that ring. And those guys are my idols. Those guys are my idols. They're, who I look up to. And each and every time they climb into the ring, they go in with that warrior spirit of, that we Mexicans have. So I always just try to emulate that, and I aspire to be like them one day. And then Marco Antonio Barrera, I mean, I was named after him when I was born by my dad. So, that's just like another thing that I'm like, dang man, I gotta live up to this. I gotta live up to this, and it's God willing, we're gonna get there one day.
Yeah, you had those legendary fights there with Barrera Morales, and of
Yeah,
course we know about what's going down with Julio Cesar Chavez and his legendary career, and of
yeah,
course with Canelo, still doing this thing here. Of course, was recently the undisputed super middleweight champion there, the division that you're in, and still competing there at a high level. Now,
mm,
you're mentioning this thing here with the multiple national championships and recently, of course, you had the thing where you won the USA Boxing National Championship in
mm,
2023 and then followed that up with a Golden Gloves win in 2024 before turning
yeah,
pro. Now,
yeah.
what were some things that you learned there as an amateur that you have brought to the pro game?
Man, I keep saying it, but it's just experience. I think my amateur career, I just gained a lot of valuable experience that maybe not a lot of others had. I had 145 fights, I
Mm.
believe. Roughly 5 losses. So it was just I dedicated a lot of time into it. And in the amateurs, and now I'm just taking all that and transitioning into the pros.
Yeah, and as we were mentioning there with your trainer there, John Brown, I mean, he was able to like see your success there as an amateur. And so, once you made that decision to become a pro, he's like, yeah, I want to, be there, right there with you and things like that. Now,
Yeah,
you talk about that camaraderie that you have, with your trainer there, but you also, of course, have your family there that's to support you.
yeah.
Now, I've seen that, you had like a different type of start when it came to sports. You kind of was into soccer and then
Yeah.
you came over to boxing. So like how were you able to go from soccer to boxing?
Man, I always say I think my story a little different from everybody else because I actually was my brother that got me into it. My younger brother,
Mm.
because my dad's always been a big fan of boxing, so he always watched boxing. I mean, I'm like I told you, I'm named after Marco Antonio Barrera, and my brother's actually named after a Puerto Rican legend, Miguel Angel Cotto. So my dad's always been a big fan, and my little brother would always watch it with him. And I
Mm.
guess one day he got the itch to start trying boxing, and he wanted me to do it with him. So I kind of just followed him, thinking I wasn't gonna do anything with it. And man, walked into that gym and fell in love.
In love with it. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah,
you're watching like all of those fights there. It could be, Marco Antonio Barrera, it could be Oscar De La Hoya, it could be a lot
yeah,
of those, other fighters there that, got you motivated. So, that was kind of something there that you've been able to, build off that and be very successful up to
yeah.
this particular point. Now, I mean, you had, those three that kind of like stood out to you, but who was like other fighters that you kind of watched as you were coming up in the boxing game?
Oh, people that I would watch. I mean, Shakur. I'm not gonna lie to you. I watched a lot of Shakur. Coming up, because I also was in the amateurs with him, so I
Mm.
watched a lot of him. Devin Haney as well. And then coming up, I watched a lot of. Oh man, I watched a lot of Pacquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez as well. I watched him a lot, and obviously the legend Floyd.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, exactly. I mean, he'd be like, my thing is this, or like I said before, you see, Manny Pacquiao's a hell of a fighter, but
yeah,
I'm TBE, so he just couldn't compete. So yeah, I mean, he's one of the legendary fighters, I would say, in these modern times and things like that. So kind of like seeing what he's doing, but also mixing in, the other fighters that you've looked at, is,
Yeah,
really big. But, as you said, you were following like Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney
yeah,
there while you were, in the amateurs. And now you got Shakur Stevenson that's about to, be competing here on
yeah.
January 31st. So he got a big bout against Teofimo
hmm
Lopez, who's also,
Yes,
been
sir.
there around the amateur ranks as well. So it kind of like
Yeah.
shows like how much talent that you've been around, while you were coming up, and
hmm
now you've been able to explore, pretty much like exert that here so far as a professional. Now you say that you got this upcoming bout here first for February
Yeah.
and then March. So like, what would be the moves here? Would you say like you want to have like another 5 or 7 fights this year?
Uh, Maybe not necessarily seven.
Okay.
I think seven was a lot,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
no, definitely maybe taking a little bit more time in between training camps. I mean, when you fight 7 times, you kind of like you train for a month and then you right back into it again.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, maybe take a little bit more time in between fights. Recover good, uh, train like at the best possible way we can, and then just get those tougher opponents. So I think I'm young still, so I still got a lot of time, but obviously I still want to stay active. So maybe hopefully like 4 or 5 this year.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
Now, recently there in 2025, you did have, a fight there in your hometown there. So how,
yeah.
how was that experience there fighting at your hometown last September?
No, it was an amazing experience, man. Something I'm gonna hold forever and the rest of my life. Uh, you never see boxing here, like in Kansas, and especially in my hometown here here of Olathe, Kansas. You never really see boxing, so it was amazing to be able to bring it back to my hometown. Where I was born and raised. So just seeing the crowd, my family, friends, everybody, it was amazing night, man.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the thing is kind of like, building a legacy, there in the state of Kansas. And,
Yeah,
the more successful that you become, you'll be able to set up to have that virtual bout there in Arrowhead Stadium
yeah,
or,
yeah.
whatever it is. So, you kind of like make history there and kind of like write that first chapter in, boxing in Kansas by, doing that and things. So you said that you were doing some training over in Tampa, Florida. Like how was that going out there to do your thing as far as like training?
Yeah, no, it was amazing. Amazing work, amazing people. Everyone there, just welcomes you with open arms. So it was amazing experience. Got to work with don't remember his name. He's about to fight upcoming Sunday on the Zuffa card.
Okay.
He goes by Hot Rod. He goes by Hot Rod.
Radovich Kalajic, yes.
Yes, yes, sir. I got to do a couple rounds with him.
Okay.
Some other young up and coming prospects as well. Uh, you know, it's just high level boxers. Training. Iron sharpens iron. So that's really what I went for.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa's, been a hotbed for a lot of boxers that have kind of like trained over the years, whether they're, based in Florida or, from outside. You mentioned one of those fighters there that you kind of like, were watching in Miguel Cotto. He's like had a lot of camps there over in Tampa,
Yeah,
during his professional career. So that, kind of like shows like how much how much work you could get there within that particular area. So definitely looking forward to that there. So I would say like what else do you think you would try to aspire to get to as far as like, not just if it's within the super middleweight division, but if you like have something where you go above the super middleweight division, would you want to be like a multi-division world champion, or would you want to aim to be like the greatest super middleweight of all time? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Well, actually, the plan right now is hopefully by middle of the year, end of the year, be able to do the middleweight limit, 160. So
Okay.
drop down to 160, kind of get comfortable there, and just start racking up the wins and get a world title at 160, and then go back up to 168, get one there, and then if 175 presents an opportunity, I'm more than willing to go up to 175 to the light heavyweight division and get a title there. So I'm ready for any weight class. Yep.
I feel you. I feel you. But yeah, if you're able to, get something there at 160, that would be something because, middleweight division is like one of the, as they say, the glamour divisions there in boxing.
Yeah.
So you would have that, extended history there within the middleweight division. And
Yeah.
if you're able to stamp your name there within 160, then yeah, you kind of would stand out there, on that particular front. Now,
Yeah.
what would you say is like one of the things that, as far as like your travels there as an amateur, right? What would be the moment that stands out to you when you had your accolades as an amateur?
Man, I think what stands out to me the most is the National Golden Gloves. Because I also won the Golden Boy Award. Out
Mhm.
of the whole tournament, I got the best fighter award, and I believe I could be wrong, but I believe I'm the only one from Kansas that's ever won the Golden Boy Award with the national title. So, I think I hold that one near and dear to my heart for sure.
Yeah, you stood out as the most outstanding fighter there
Yeah,
within the Golden Gloves there for that particular year. So yeah, I guess that would would definitely be something that would like kind of stand out there for you on
yeah,
that sense. Now just wrapping up here because you had those couple of fights that are scheduled here, one for February in Orlando, and then the next one in March there. So, like, what is one thing that you would want fight fans and people to know that maybe they haven't kind of like seen about you here so far as you've been coming up in the ranks?
no, I just want them to know that to get ready to jump on the train because the new era of El Tiburon, the shark, which is what they call me, is coming. It's coming to, take over everything. I'm coming for the 160 division. I'm coming for the 168. And like I said, if one day the opportunity presents itself, light heavyweight division too, man, I'm just ready to stamp my name in the boxing books, and just be remembered as a legend one day.
Gotcha. So y'all hear him there, El Tiburon,
Yeah,
Marco
El
Romero
Tiburon,
there. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So y'all watch out because hey, if he senses blood in the water, it's over.
Oh yeah,
Right?
it's
It's over.
over.
You know
It's
what I
over.
mean? So very thankful for you to take the time here to speak with the Boxing Source, and we're looking forward to seeing you here in action within the next couple of months.
Yeah, no, thank you, man, for having me. I appreciate it a lot.
All right, for sure.